We are here, me and Dean, to bring you What in the World. Dean, it's so good to have you back. So good
Thank you.
that you're back on What in the World. So
Cheers,
what
thank
are
you.
we going to talk about first then, Dean? What is on our hearts first? What do you want to talk about first?
Well, I think politically, what we're talking about with what was heard in the news, I think Venezuela would be a good one to start off with.
Yeah.
That's an interesting topic.
Up here on the screen, we have got this. So I'm going to play this and just have a quick snippet of what is going on. So hold on a minute. We're just going to press play here.
Justice for Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia. Dressed in matching tan prison uniforms, they're led in handcuffs from a chopper, headed to their first court appearance, surrounded by heavily armed federal agents. It was an all-hands-on-deck operation getting the captured first couple of Venezuela from a detention center in Brooklyn to federal court in Manhattan. The early morning odyssey began with the Maduroses loaded into an armored truck, then transferred to an SUV, then to a helicopter for the brief flight to Lower Manhattan. Another armored truck transported them to the federal courthouse for their arraignment. Security is intense. A ring of steel surrounds the courthouse, where protesters have gathered demanding Maduro be released.
Right. Well, so obviously the main thing is Maduro. A lot of people think that it's bad that Trump did that, and I understand that the legality of entering another nation, deposed of their leader, and taking them without any official confirmation of any other nation or any other contracts or whatever. I don't know the legality of that, but that's a very puzzling thing, I will admit. But despite that, I understand the reason why Trump did it. And I think it's a bit of 50-50. Part of the fact is obviously his the way he's run the nation of Venezuela. I mean, as a result, he's got links to narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, and involvements with essentially the mafia or cartels. So he's a pretty bad guy. He's had indictments from the US because of that. But as a result of the way he's led the country, his country's been faced with severe hyperinflation and incredible economic instability because of the way he's run it. Plus, he has abused and hurt his own people. There's lots of stories, you can look it up online. There's a reason why they celebrated him being removed from their country, and people were celebrating. Sorry, that's
I did see that,
Venezuela representa. Stop bombing Venezuela now! Stop bombing Venezuela now!
It's another outrage of Trump, who doesn't give a shit about any people. His only interest is oil and greed.
People celebrating, and people on the other side were like, "No, this is wrong. This is wrong." But the people are
because they don't understand
what
what this guy has done and what he's capable of doing. Very nasty man. As I say, he has indictments. He's charged with narco-terrorism, cocaine trafficking, and cartel links. But the other thing, obviously, I think that the other half of the reason why I think Trump's done what he's done is also the fact that Venezuela, when I say they, I mean Venezuela, possesses the largest oil reserves on the planet than any other country. That's a good reason for any nation to have links with them or have ties. I think the idea is if the US was to enact or engage in correspondence with the government of Venezuela and put someone in place who would be a leader who has strong links or ties to the US, that will make them stronger as a result of their connection with them and the resources that they have. I think that's the idea behind it. He has children that are in positions of power and have links to criminal behaviors. Because I mean, his only biological son is Nicolásito. He's the deputy of the National Assembly and the chief of the presidency special body, whatever that is. I don't know. But it tells you he's already involved with government. And my concern is if you remove a political leader like that, and there's a void in a country, who replaces them? Is it entirely possible that someone who's biologically related to them will take over? especially if they have links to crime just like their father, and how they've governed the country as it is.
A lot of corruption. I think a lot of it is to do with oil, isn't it? It's a lot to do with
Yeah,
money,
of course.
power, and every country's own motives and agendas,
Yeah.
Some people
it makes me think of the old saying, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that's the problem. Sorry, I'll let you carry on.
It? I think a lot of people are seeing Trump really as a bit of a bad man at the minute.
I know. I think he's getting a bad rap, and I understand why.
At the minute, he's doing a lot of sanctions on this country as well. He done a press conference today. So he's not looking really good out here, is he, Dean?
No, he's not. And in all fairness, a lot of people haven't liked him. It's what I find funny, though, is before he went to go for the presidency the first time, because obviously this is his second run in office, isn't it, as president of the United States. The interesting thing is, prior to that, I don't think anyone really had anything bad to say about him. He would sometimes be in the news because of his position and his power and his influence that he had with money before, but no one would really criticize him. He'd go on TV shows and be, hey, this is Trump, oh, hi, nice to meet you, blah blah, all friendly. And isn't it funny, as soon as he gets involved with politics, it's like, we can't stand this man, we hate him, let's skin him alive. It's like, what? Okay, you liked him before, but now all of a sudden, because he's involved with politics, that makes him a bad guy. Okay, all right then. I get that if you disagree with what he stands for, but it just seems like a double standard to me. I don't know.
I'm telling you what, doing this, and I say this every time we do What in the World, the news goes so quick. It's like everything is something every single day. It's the next one. You cannot keep up with the news. You can't keep up in this ever-changing world of what we're going through right now. You can't keep up with it. You're in it. It's hard to sort of navigate through it. What is going?
Yeah.
What next?
Yeah, because you're thinking what's going to happen next. Exactly. Everything seems so crazy. So yeah, I get it. Yeah, you almost feel like the rug's being pulled out underneath your feet when it's one thing after another, and it's like, oh, okay, I didn't think that would happen, and it did, and then something else happens that's even more outrageous than the last thing, and it's like, what's going on? Kind of scratch your head and think, this is odd. And it just seems to go on rather than stop.
I see Iran as a nation wanting their freedom, wanting to come back to democracy. They are fighting very hard for their liberation. So I'm just going to play this right now.
Yeah.
Just a quick snippet.
These are the necessary logistics in the aftermath of a massacre. That is what you're seeing. The morgue sections inside are all full. So, the warehouse is used also. That is also now full, so corpses are laid out on the ground outside as people arrive to identify loved ones.
It's not good, isn't it? It's a dictatorship.
Asserting their authority, on the people. Yeah.
So many people have been killed in Iran.
That's horrible.
Because these people want their liberation.
Yeah, they want freedom. I found it interesting. I've seen pictures in the past of what it was like in the past in that nation, and you see how it was before, and it's really interesting because women weren't wearing burqas and things like that at all, and then all of a sudden they went from that to having Sharia law, and they have to do that, and it's very different. And a lot of the women didn't want that, but it happened to them anyway. I think it just shows you the contrast. When if you saw a picture or a painting, if you have a high contrast, in other words, like dark and light, okay, and the more the contrast is increased, the more you can see the difference between the light and the dark. And it's a bit like that. You're seeing how one group wants to see it this way, and one group wants to run it that way, and the contrast of the two colors is just becoming, rather than kind of blurred together or bleeding together, it's very much standing out now, and that's why they're very much against each other. And I think it's a thing that's been brewing for a long time, in all fairness. I think because of what Trump did with Venezuela, it kind of pushed them over the edge, thinking, well, if he could do that there, what about here? And it's just led on from there and caused all kinds of troubles in a nation like that. And it's sorrowful that A lot of people have died as a result of that, rather than it being a thing of peace where they could just say, look, we want this, and they kind of listen and maybe do something about it. They don't. It's just attack.
This is the moment to act now. Again, I want to reiterate this message to the international community. This is the moment to act, because they started massacring their own people. And if we don't act, the protest will die down and the moment will be gone.
Would you call what's happening a revolution?
100%. 100%.
So Iran, especially the last sort of 100, 150 years, has had quite a tumultuous history. It's been marked by coups, by revolutions. Would you agree that most of the protesters, from what we're hearing, is that they want a return of the Shah?
Yes, they do. Look, he's the most popular figure at this point, and I support him as well. But even he said it. He wants to lead the transitional government. So we need like a transitional government to make sure we have a smooth transition. And then maybe in 1 or 2 or 3 years' time, we can decide what kind of a government we want, whether we want a monarchy, whether we want a republic, but that's down the road. At this moment in time, Shahzada Reza Pahlavi is a unifying figure that everyone needs to unite around. And we need to put our differences to one side and just support him until he gets into power.
There you have it. There you have it, Dean.
I think it brings down to the same comment I said earlier as well. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. When people know they can get away with doing evil to other people, and they enjoy doing that, and having control over them and manipulating them, they do it because they know they can get away with it. And it's all right until they can't. I mean, look at Saddam Hussein. He thought he could carry on doing what he wanted to do, and look what happened to him. You know, a lot of these leaders, Gaddafi, Hussein, dictators, they're all gone now. And, you have your time, but there's an end to every story. Hopefully there'll be an end to this one soon. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I hope so. And we as believers, we've got to pray. And I was reading, it takes me back to in the Bible where it says about Moses and Pharaoh, when God said, let my people go. And I think God in this hour is saying, let my people go. He can see leaders who are oppressing, leaders are not ruling nations fairly. He's making us, let my people, or there will be a judgment. There will be a repercussion. Don't think that God is sitting back watching this and not saying and taking a blind eye. He will act, because he's hearing the cries of the people, he's hearing their hearts, he's seeing what's going on. And
here's the thing, you say that, he often uses other people. It's not a big booming voice from heaven and amazing miracles. He'll use other people, he'll use other nations. He even used Babylon in the Bible, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, with Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah. You read the book of Jeremiah, you see that. God will use even either evil people or bad people to bring about his plans, whether we like that or not. And so, as you say, as I've said, there's a big, like every story, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. Hopefully there'll be more of an end to this tyranny. I think the other thing is, the point to bring away from this, is I think anywhere you have people and you have a government and people asserting their authority over another person or people in general, there's always going to be some level of corruption. It's almost inevitable because we are human beings and we're flawed. And if someone sees a way that they could do something against another or people or in their position of power, they often will take that position and use that unethically, without altruistic methods or motive behind it, a good heart. I think that's the thing. And we see this time and time again. You see so many scandals, even in our government. We've seen people that have been in charge, haven't we? And they've been involved with things, and it's come out, and it's like no country is free from it. We can't pretend that we're perfect and everybody else is evil and corrupt when we have it here too, just as much. But it's probably hidden in a different way, and it's hidden behind a suit and tie, so it looks good, But Jesus said, and you mentioned it yourself, there'll be wars and rumors of wars and things. And I think the closer we get to the end of days, I think that's, we're going to see more of this kind of stuff. And it also not just more of the stuff, but I think it will become even more radical and more crazy as well. Not just in frequency, but also in intensity as well. So there you go. That's why Jesus said it would be like birth pains. What happens with birth pains with a woman? It increases in time, but it also in intensity as well, until the time of birth comes. And that's exactly why he said that. He knew what was going to happen.
Wrap it up here, guys, on What in the World. But we will be back next month with more news, with more stuff going on around the world. But I've really enjoyed this, Dean. Have you? And I hope you guys have too. And put your comments in the comment section and tell us what you think, because we don't want to be out there. We want to interact with you. We want you to feedback to us and give us topics that you want us to talk about as well, and put it in the comment section, because we want this to go out. Okay, we need this to go out and people can hear the gospel, but also knowing the times and the seasons that we're in right now. So stay blessed, guys, and God bless you all. Bye.
Amen. Bye.